Alright, Session 0 talk. Star Wars. With all of you peoples, assuming y'all get along and stuff. We are playing Edge of the Empire, however, I've allowed certain stuff from Age of Rebellion, as long as it's cleared first. We haven't really talked about including any Force rules or stuff from Force and Destiny, but if it comes up at a later point once we're all more comfy with the rules, I'm not completely opposed to it, but we will burn that bridge when we get to it. But right now, I think I have the most experience with the system, maybe? And that's like I've ran 3 one-shots and played in 2. So everybody's super new. I think 2 of our folks have only played in a single game, and one of them hadn't played in at any at all.
Yeah.
Yeah. But we're gonna.
I played in 2.
That is true. That puts you right in the middle of the pack. Right between 5 and 1.
Yeah.
But we are going to start out with the Beyond the Rim module, as voted by the popular vote before Corey was here to have a voice in the matter. And whether we decide to stray from Beyond the Rim or play all the way through it and then into one of the other modules, there's a cool one about a mask of a pirate queen that sounds interesting. We might do that afterwards, but we'll just see how it goes and whether we want to wander off into homebrew or anything crazy as we do it. The start of this module is going to be the group being hired by a guy to seek out this rumored treasure ship. So you guys have all heard rumors about this ship that disappeared 2 decades ago and was supposedly carrying a whole bunch of money and resources, and we'll get more into the actual details like in session 1, but the general like intro hook is going to be, hey, remember that like treasure planet style like pirate's tale of this ship loaded with credits and money and tech that disappeared out on the outer rim? Well, they think they might have found it, and you guys are going to be hired to go check it out.
Cool.
2 of the party had talked about previously working part-time or even currently working part-time. Correct me if whichever one's the correct one there. But working for the Pike Syndicate from Solo, for those of you who have seen it.
Yes, we still work for them loosely. It's one of those things like you can't leave the organization once you join, but we're trying.
All right. I'm going to do some looking at the start of the book to see whether we can say the Pikes are the ones sending you on this job, or whether y'all are in between jobs with the Pike Syndicate and this job came up and you need money. So a big boat full of money sounds like a good way to get money. Rick had talked about possibly working with them as well, considering that he is currently, or prior to game start, put out of work by his desire to steal and fly things really, really fast, which employers frown upon, which has led him to his current state of either working for the Pikes doing like Kessel Run type stuff, or maybe hooking up with you guys at the start of the campaign. And I'm not sure what Ashley is thinking.
What?
For your backstory, I know you are a hired gun marauder character, so it's pretty easy to just be like
criminal.
All right, but we hadn't hashed out whether your criminal ties were with the Pike organization or somebody else.
You said you were gonna pick.
I know. I'm going to do that in the future tense.
Oh.
Once I find out what the group's cool with. And Corey's just joining us, and so that brings him up to speed on what the group's thinking. Can you fit Sam into that kind of a vibe of a bunch of part-time Pike Syndicate criminals being hired to go check out beyond the outer rim planets for a crashed spaceship full of money?
Oh yes, Sam is Sam is basically just trying to get away from his creators. So yeah, he's cool with he's down for with whatever. As long as it helps him learn more and gain more sentience, basically, he's fine with it. If you ever try to memory wipe him, he's going to kill you. Just putting that out there.
I mean, I won't. I'm gonna set up your token real quick, Corey. Feel free to think tank amongst yourselves.
Cool.
But not everybody at once.
Oh.
I'm just happy to be here, guys. This is going to be so much fun. I love Treasure Planet.
I'm
need to
so
watch it again.
excited.
For
yeah,
research purposes.
I'm very excited as well. Again, super Star Wars nerd, so this is right up my alley.
We're currently watching the Clone Wars series in preparation.
In chronological order.
It's very fantastic.
Oh, yeah,
That's actually one of the best things to come out of Star Wars in a very long time.
I did all that work on the wrong token. I'm smart.
I have heard good things about it, and I've seen a few episodes. I need to watch the rest, but I don't have my TV set up in my room yet. So
it is it is well animated, and it is a very fantastic show. The story from start to finish is engaging, and it's very much so just Star Wars from start to finish. Just a lot of fun. You know, bounty hunters, Jedi. It's all good. It's all good.
It fills a lot of plot holes in the prequels. Like it
Yeah.
shows Anakin's transformation, but you also have to remember it was designed for kids, so there is a bit of cheese factor involved.
Oh yeah. Yeah, but the series I haven't watched yet is the Star Wars Rebels one, which is apparently supposed to fill in some more gaps, and that one's supposed to be just as good as the Clone Wars cartoon. So
That's what we're watching after this one.
Yeah, I haven't watched the Rebels one yet, which I need to get around to doing. But I've heard that
most of
really
season one, but we doubled back for Clone Wars.
It's good. It's good. I think the first season starts off a little slower, but once it gets into the second season, it picks up super fast and it gets really, really good.
Well, I've actually seen Clone Wars. We're watching it again because I'd like to see it again, and she's never seen it.
Mm-hmm.
That is the name of the ship. Like I said, it's an urban legend kind of thing. It disappeared 20 years ago, so you can decide among yourselves whether you have heard or cared about it, or ever been one of the folks who spent some time hunting for it. But that's the name for backstory type purposes.
Ooh.
Yeah, I still have to decide on what my prime directive is as part of my programming, and then I'll figure that out as it goes along. I'm almost hoping that that's it, but it's not. He was built by humanoids, so I'm pretty sure it's not what it is.
You are going to be starting out this game heading to a space station known as the Wheel. Again, that's something that you can decide whether you're brand new to the Wheel or whether you've been there and know folks there. I'll be able to work with either. Y'all can be totally new and have never been here, or if you've been there, I'll be able to look up stuff about it and figure out what you should and should not know about the place. But you are being sent out to work for a company, I guess is the best word for it, called Isotech.
Okay.
And so
They create the technology to build isometric games, right?
I think they build ISO containers or ISO files. I forget which ones.
I think it's both.
I so don't care.
Well, personally, I think if you don't mind looking it up or whatever, I would have liked to be familiar with the Wheel or have been there in the past.
It's a huge trade hub, so it's definitely something that any of y'all could have been to, heard of. It's not outside the purview, and I will give you information once I've done more like actual book reading, because at this point my campaign preparation consists of I built one NPC in Roll20.
Okay, cool.
But it's good to know that theoretically the entire group is together prior to the start of the game, and we can still do like a character introduction session where you guys meet each other, but having you all on the same ship flying to the Will to start the adventure tidies things up so that I don't have to like be doing multiple scenes on the Will, like Rick's in the tavern.
Mm-hmm.
Are there any ladies
Yeah.
there? I want to do them.
Yeah, makes sense.
Always one of those role players.
I mean, you guys heard his story 15 minutes ago.
I do, in fact, have a robotic penis. Just putting that out there. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I mean, he might. I don't know. I'll think about it later.
Okay.
Okay, so Rick, is your character going to already be with us then, like when we land, or is everybody kind of just landing in the same area so we're all like, going for the same job? Does anybody care how we kind of set that up?
I think the way that Hunter's wanting it is that we're all already on the same ship, and we get
Right.
to the wheel all together on the same ship.
If you,
So
Okay, cool.
if you guys are not
That's
comfortable
perfect.
with that, though, I can
Oh, no,
I
that's
can make
fine.
it work so that the guy who's hiring you says, you know, I'm calling in my debts on you, and you guys are gonna work together, and then you guys will have a 3-day hyperlight trip to air quote get to know each other. But I mean, it'll kind of work better if you guys are on the same team going into the talking to the NPC the first time.
okay.
Yeah, I definitely think that's the way to go then.
Yeah, I can
Just
fit
all
in.
together.
The way I'm thinking about my backstory, and I don't know if you want me to send it to you or whatever. Whenever I got everything ready, but the way I'm thinking about it is that it wouldn't really matter when he met everybody. So it should be pretty easy for me to fit into the group.
Sweet. You want us to go over our characters now?
Sure, tell each other
Like what we've got
what
so
you're
far?
playing, and like start jiving on how
Sweet.
folks will get along and stuff like that.
Cool.
Leah, you want to introduce my character with yours?
No, you can do your own. I'm playing a Twi'lek named Talik, and you guys can just call me Tall. That's totally fine. I'm pilot, and I'm kind of like a fast talker from Ryloth, and yeah, I'm doing some smuggling for the Pike Syndicate. Not much more to it than that. And I hang out a lot with my little buddy, who I don't really know his name, so I just kind of call him things whenever I feel like it. Today he'll be Sasquatch, so we'll just kind of go with that. That's it for me so far.
I'm trying to decide if I'm going to change the token every time you call him something new.
Hi guys, I'm Sasquatch. I only have 2 things that you need to know about me. I like fixing guns and I like shooting guns.
Okay.
That's an easy list. I don't even have to write that down.
I guess I'll go next. I am Sam Hamich. That's right. Just take it in for a second and realize what it means. That's right. He is a prototype droid, which I'll get the details of later. I literally just started making this character an hour ago, so don't have all the details down yet. He very much does try to emulate humanoids, and from your interactions with him, he doesn't consider himself a droid. He considers himself a mechanical humanoid. He has a decent semblance of sentience, and is always very curious about learning new things and interacting with new people and races that he hasn't experienced before. He does wear clothing, but it's just the jacket and the hat that you see in the picture. And
I guess that answers the robot penis question.
I mean, it comes out from the chassis, okay? Like it extends out. You know, the chassis lifts up and it extends out. All right, like don't.
Got it.
Don't
Yeah.
fall short,
Detachable.
right?
Yeah. You know, it's detachable. He can get fucking different variants. Okay, like he's got it made. Anyway, he does on his chest plate though on the side where normally like a droid of his make would have their number. It's actually like hurriedly scratched out, so you can only make out bits and pieces of it. Again, I just started making this character, so I don't know what his actual like number and make is going to be. But I'll tell you guys about that whenever I decide.
We'll have to come up with some numbers so that once you scratch them, it makes it look like it says Sam or something. So like there's a 5 and a 4 or something, and it throws some lead speak in.
Okay, we can make that work. That'll work. We'll figure something out.
I'm just throwing ideas at the wall. You let me know if it sticks.
No. Actually, yeah, that works really well. Yeah. So they're scratched out to make out the just Sam. You don't know how he came about his name, but it's obviously like he's told you. Like he'll tell anybody. His name is Sam Hamich, and you don't know how he came about his name, but it's obviously a very unique and strange name. And he's very tech savvy. He likes to build and fix things. Seems to be just something that I don't know he came across or whatever. And most of his time spent on the ship and with you guys has been spent either in seclusion or like around you guys, like sitting like at a chair or something, just like fixing something that was broken, or maybe improving something that he thought was like not up to optimal standards.
Well, that sounds fun. I can help you either tonight or going into the weekend. I can totally help you build your sheet and get you up to snuff. I think
whichever is better for you is fine, man.
I mean, I might be doing some board games and stuff on Saturday, but other than that, the Whiff and I are going for a bike ride and being lazy.
Aw.
I love that you say whiff. I say whiff too.
But yeah, if you got any questions, feel free to just throw it in the Discord chat or even ping me directly. Okay. But since we're all learning, if you throw a question in the Discord chat, maybe somebody else has that question, and us having to look it up will make it a learning moment for the party.
All right, cool. If I have a question that I feel like is relevant to the entire group, I'll just ping everyone so that you guys can see it as well. That way, the answer is there in broad fucking daylight so that everybody can see it.
Oh, he's one of those assholes that pings everybody.
Again, only if it's relevant to the entire group. If it's not, I'll just ask the question. And
the Star Wars RPG role is pingable, so you can ping the party without pinging the entire server or anything crazy. But yeah, I'll totally help you build that character. I think everyone went for the full bonus plus 10 obligation. I know you haven't. Ooh, I know you haven't got too far into the book yet, but I'll adjust the starting obligation now that we have a party of 5, not a party of 4. But everyone else is doing the hell yeah. I'll take 2,500 extra credits at start for 10 extra obligation, and that'll probably mean that y'all are a heavily obligated party, but I feel like the backstories kind of support that, and that we can whittle down some of that obligation pretty easily once the game gets going.
It'll work for my character too, because again, Prototype broke away from his creators. They're looking for him. His background is actually bounty. Like they have a bounty on him to bring him back alive, or at least like intact. So so that works. But I'd probably take experience over credits, because he doesn't really give a shit about credits except for, you know, to like survive from a day-to-day basis.
You gotta get that armor upgrade, yo.
Oh shit, yeah, actually that's a good point.
You start, so starting money is 500 credits. A solid pistol will run you about 400. So keep that in mind.
Okay, all right, okay.
There are cheaper pistols, but like the
That's right. Yeah, you don't have starting equipment, do you? You have to buy it with your starting gold, or with your starting credits.
It's one of the things to like con you into ramping up that obligation for the story of it.
Okay, all right. Well, you know what? I started off with extra experience anyway as a droid. So yeah, I'll take the plus 10 for the 2500 extra.
Yeah, we can iron it out if you have questions. But did you read the parts yet about how the GM rolls for obligation at the beginning of the session to see if?
Yes. Okay. Yeah, obligation I read through pretty well. I know that the GM rolls, and it has to equal or be lower than for something to happen. If you roll higher than our obligation, then nothing happens, or at least nothing significant happens during that session.
Right. And I think before you joined, the party was looking at 80 out of 100. It can actually go over 100, but the party was looking at having about 80 obligation, and that's not to deter you from taking more obligation. And with the 5th person joining, the starting obligation will actually go down. So, Rick, what are you doing?
Sorry, thought I was muted.
Thank you.
Moving my mic around. Because I changed where I had it stuck on my desk, and so now I'm fixing that.
I need to change mine. I moved it for a video yesterday, and now it's at an odd angle. But yeah, for the first session, I am not going to roll for obligation, because I want y'all to get there and start the story, and not just like you show up on the wheel and suddenly the people hunting your droid are there too, or whatever. I don't want to like just start tossing strain at you. I want y'all to like get the story started, and then y'all can show up on the outer rim and let your obligation come into play. Rick, your character sheet. We did character building, but I didn't see that there was too much on the actual Roll20 sheet. Did you use like Ogdude's generator or something and need to transpose?
I tried, but then I didn't. I'm terrible.
Okay. I can always check the recording, or I think I have a PDF version of it. I tried to get like your skills and stuff in there, but there are other numbers that need be added, like your soak and wounds and stuff like that. So this weekend I can also assist in your character generation.
Cool. I'll be around tomorrow. Saturday I will be at Lanka's wedding.
Hooray.
But then Sunday I will be back.
Seriously, that's still happening?
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh,
Good luck.
Drama.
I mean, I'm not the one getting married to her, so.
Yes, but you will be there.
Still drama.
I just noticed that Steven's character has a Pokeball drawn on his clothes.
Yeah, I noticed that too.
Oh, so it does. It's amazing.
Pokemon Go, gotta stay current. Gotta get those steps in.
This group is gonna Pokemon Go to the outer rim.
Okay, Hillary.
But yeah, I think everyone having fairly conducive backgrounds, being able to just smush into that kind of, we work for the Pikes when it suits us, but we have bigger and better goals, and the fact that this job came up might allow us to get out from under the Pikes and pursue those bigger and better goals, even if all 5 of you are more or less plotting your own goals. I think it'll allow for a good party mesh to get the things going, and then we can explore what y'all do once you start getting time and resources and stuff like that.
Sweet.
And I'm glad that I did more reading on like the co-piloting actions and stuff like that, because I was worried that with 2 pilots, in order for both of you to shine, that I was going to have to like either get you in 2 ships or get like Rick a fighter and have the main ship carry the fighter or something like that. But I think that even in shipboard combat, that one of you is not going to be bored because y'all can assist each other, but one person can be doing actually flying the ship while the other one is using astrogation to plot hyperspace jumps, using the co-pilot action to make the pilot's checks easier so that the actual movement of the craft, which is a big part of ship combat, which I'm still super rusty on, but I think it'll make ship combat much easier for you guys, so I'll be able to not be afraid of like throwing more stuff at y'all, thus making it bigger, cooler, and more awesome, instead of like, man, we all suck with the ship rules, so those 2 TIE fighters was totally wrecking us because, you know, we didn't have somebody in the dorsal gunner, and then the pilot was constantly keeping the ships above us, and we all suck at playing Fantasy Flight X-Wing except for Steven.
As long as you remember that.
I mean, I'll remember it. I have all of them sitting behind me.
Sounds good.
And for those that don't know, we named our ship the Cheeky Minoc.
Is that why there are Minocs in the picture?
Love it. Love it.
It's just an added bonus of that picture having Minox on it. I think the name was picked before the type of ship was picked.
Oh, really? The Minocs are actually part of the picture?
Yeah.
That's the official picture for it in the role-playing supplement.
Yep, that
wow,
is.
I genuinely thought that you had just found like some random Minocs and copy-pasted them on there because of the name.
Nope.
No, but they are our pets.
That's amazing.
Yeah, why not Minoc? But there is art for deck plans and stuff for the ship, so I will get a separate Roll20 map loaded up just to be the inboard of the ship so that y'all can move around if we ever reach a point where tokens in the ship matter. You know, for the next time Ashley's trying to throw somebody out the airlock.
And it's fun to visualize anyways.
It is fun to visualize. You know,
That's awesome.
in that 3 days in hyperspace, I can give y'all tokens to move around so that you're not just staring at the same picture moving your tokens on top of your face and stuff.
Yay.
Steven.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Hey, why did you turn mine from upside down?
Nope, that's not us.
That's not y'all at all. That's a YT-1300.
Yeah, that's the Millennium Falcon right there. Only it's red.
That's still not us.
No, but you know.
Oh, hey, I remember that. We did the one shot in here when I was the Twi'lek and I danced.
Yep.
Do 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 do.
And I
This was the
unsuccessfully
first
tried to-
appearance of the... Go ahead.
Yeah, you already finished your entire sentence. Just go ahead.
It's the first appearance of the Vex maneuver as well.
Yup. There you go. You guys all meet in a tavern. We have hit that level of the story.
Yay!
Yay. I'm the only one without a name under my... Well, I mean, I guess...
I haven't set the default token for your sheet yet and stuff.
It's fine. That's fine. I'm just giving you shit.
Okay, well, you're out.
I feel like I'm going to be hearing that a lot.
Well, quit fucking up.
Not going to happen.
Yeah.
Guys, this game is unplayable.
Literally
Sam's
unplayable.
token has a slightly less thick border compared to the rest of them.
Oh my god.
No.
It's unacceptable.
I'll verify that and re-upload
My
new
token.
images.
Oh, you're talking about my token? That's funny. Yeah, I did my token just slightly differently.
Oh, I see why. Because he uploaded his token image.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
picture, yeah, I did. I didn't have another one. I didn't save the one that you had on the Roll20. If you want to just send it to me and I'll fucking upload it onto my character sheet.
See, that's a Sam token.
Oh my goodness.
That's how a real man builds a droid token right there. Notice that
That's nice.
Oh
Thick.
yeah.
That's sexy.
that thick border.
God forbid
Oh my
God
gosh.
forbid that
Slightly
mine
more
has that
zoom.
look.
Yeah, that pleasing crop.
How dare you?
So glad that we
My
can be so
God.
How
Yes,
dare
you
you?
are.
How dare all of you token shame me? Okay, this is fucking horrifying.
It's good
I
to
am
know that
appalled and fucking. I feel oppressed.
we have the token droid in the party. I mean the droid token, sorry.
Ah,
I mean, according to his picture, he is the token droid. I'm just.
Smoke him if you got him.
Can anyone help me settle my bar tab? I'm a little short.
ah.
Oh jeez.
I hate you. I already hate you. I don't even know you, and I already hate you.
All right, so Corey, you're new to the system. Do you have questions about how things work? Does anyone need to see do you need to see like combat in action? Is there anything I can do to help you right now? I have about an hour-ish left of I'm free to hang out and talk about Star Wars.
Cool. My thing is the difference between. Okay, so like. I was reading on it, and like strain and wounds and soak, I'm a little not clear on. Like I understand that wounds is your health pretty much.
Yeah.
And that your threshold is the maximum amount you can take, and however much your current is how much that you have took.
Right.
So I understand that.
So you haven't built your character yet, so you're still at, your threshold is 10 plus brawn. So let's just go ahead and use that 11, right? Your wound threshold is currently 11. I attack you and I deal 3 points of damage, and you're at 3 out of your 11. So again, we're counting damage up instead of hit points down.
Right. I understand that.
Keyboard.
I understand that. So yeah, I've taken 3 hit points and I have 11 total. So yeah, so like I've only got like so many left. I'm not going to do math right now because I don't feel like it.
The important thing to note is that it's once you exceed your threshold, though. So once you've taken 11 out of 11 damage, you have not exceeded your threshold. You are at it. So the point of exceeding your threshold and being knocked down is at 12.
Okay. And then so like
strain. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like what is the difference? Okay, because again, I'm so used to 5e or just D&D in general. So like what is the difference between, like, are you knocked down or are you dead at that point? Or are you just unconscious?
I'll go read the book to make sure so I don't quote you wrong.
But while he's looking that up, strain is like mental hit points basically, and if you exceed strain,
you're breaking
You're
up really
cutting
bad.
out, Steven.
Oh, sorry.
Can confirm.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, that's better.
Yes.
So strain is your mental hit points basically, and if you exceed your threshold in strain, then you do fall unconscious. So
Okay.
Wounds are your physical damage. Strain is like your mental stress, ability to cope with difficult situations.
Yeah, and it can be physically demanding situations that would affect you mentally. So like the starter box starts. Rick, I'm gonna have to mute you when you're typing. The starter box starts with all of the party running through the city streets, running away from the guards of the hut whose palace they're escaping, right? So the physical / mental act of we've been booking it through Tatooine streets for 10 minutes starts them with a point of strain.
Okay.
If you remember your obligation readings, though, when obligation happens, when the DM rolls and the obligation affects the party,
Yeah, you lose strain threshold.
Well, it adds a strain to you, yeah. So you're closer to that threshold.
Well, from what it said in the book, you actually lose strain threshold.
Right.
So what I'm curious, like, how do you gain that back? That's a curious thing that I'm worried about. Because like if you lose strain threshold, it means that you have to take the strain threshold down, which means that you could go unconscious easier, but you don't technically have any points of strain against you.
When a PC suffers wounds greater than his wound threshold, he is knocked out and incapacitated until wounds are reduced so that they no longer exceed the wound threshold. They also immediately suffer 1 critical injury. I don't know if you've read it yet, but there is a critical injury chart, and the way critical injuries work is depending on what is hitting you, you will basically roll percentile die, and what you roll, you check on the chart. Well, the more critical injuries that accumulate, or the more abilities that person has, the more they might modify that number. For example, Ashley's character has an axe that has Vicious 3 on it, and what that means is anytime she critically injures something, the roll starts at 30. Like, it adds 30 to the roll. So even if somebody rolls a critical injury and rolls a 1 that she hits, it's a 31, not a 1.
Oh, okay. Okay, all right, that's interesting. All right, yeah, I'm gonna have to get used to all these different charts and stuff. That's fine.
It's fine. We're all new, and we'll all be talking about it and stuff. But yeah, so we've done a couple of combats as a group in the starter set, but I expect that the first couple of combats are going to be, all right, let's make sure we're doing this right, checking the book, asking questions, wait, how does this work, and stuff. So the first time that a PC exceeds the wound threshold or strain threshold or gets a critical injury, expect that we'll all be going, let's make sure we do this right.
Right, yeah, that's fine. And I'm honestly way better at learning through doing, so it's just going to be one of those things. I mean, I'll read through the book as much as I need to, but it's definitely going to be one of those things where it's easier for me to learn while it's happening.
I'm the same way, which is why I like doing the stuff over and over again.
Yeah, so that's fine. All right, so wounds and strain. Okay, that makes sense to me. And then what is soak?
So
exactly,
soak
I
is
didn't
your
understand it
armor.
from reading.
But in D&D, remember that your armor means this is what it takes to hit you, and then once you are hit, you just take all of that damage. Soak is different because the person is rolling the attack rolls, like when we were doing the dice tests up top. They're making those checks to see if they hit you. So their check is what determines whether it is successful or not. So if they hit you, your armor then reduces the damage you take. Let's say that somebody attacks you and they roll enough successes to successfully hit you and do 5 damage. The armor you're wearing says your soak is 3. You take 2 damage.
Okay. All right. So if it's armor, and okay, yeah, I get that.
Somebody
okay,
hits you for 3 and less, your armor soaks all of it and does nothing. So if you bump your soak up, a lot of the smaller stuff will do nothing to you. If you are wearing Mandalore armor or Stormtrooper laminate armor, stuff like that, like smaller holdout pistol blast and stuff like that, have the chance of doing no damage because your soak is so high that even at max damage, that thing is not going to hurt you.
Okay. All right. Cool. That makes sense. I like that. That's good.
And so we talked about how the dice cancel out. Success and failure fight each other.
Right.
Advantage and threat fight each other. Have you read about triumph and despair at all?
Yeah, a little bit. I understand a very small amount about it. I was still trying to make my character, so I didn't read too much into the
That's
triumph.
Fine. The focus should definitely be on getting the character done. I should be able to play next week. It's mostly a role play session, but there is some options depending on how fast that y'all go through stuff on more stuff happening. But it'll definitely be, I want the focus to be on character introductions and getting the ball rolling. But where was that? Triumph and despair. Triumph and despair are symbols that are on opposite dice, triumph being awesome and despair being not awesome, but they do not cancel each other out. So you can have triumph and despair occur at the same time. And triumph and despair they count as a which is it, Stephen? Is it a success or an advantage?
Triumph is a success.
Okay, yeah. It counts as a success in and of its own right, but it also affects the story narratively. If you were jumping a pit and you rolled a triumph in your success, once you succeeded, you could use the triumph to be like, on the other side, I find the controls that extend the bridge, or something. You can affect the story using that triumph. You can use I was shooting at the guy as they drove by on a speeder bike, and I rolled a triumph. So in the triumph, I want him to have dropped his weapon, or drop a clue, or like you can change the story with that. But since they don't cancel each other out, you can have a good one and a bad one happening at the same time.
Okay, so like, okay, just as a for instance, let me see if I'm getting this right. Like, if I do a success, a guy's riding by on a speeder, and I get a triumph. Could I say something like, like I damage his engines, like to where he's sputtering along, like he's still moving, obviously, but he's like sputtering along, like he's not moving as quickly as he was before.
Yeah, or you could. Now again, this is going to depend greatly on the situation and what you roll and stuff like that, but you could be like, I want to, instead of just having shot him, I want to have shot the bike, and I want to shoot the stabilizer so that he has to slow down and spend extra effort controlling the bike, making the rest of his piloting checks on that bike much harder so that we can catch up to him, because he's
okay, yeah,
right. So you can say, I want him to slow and sputter, or I want him to make steering harder, or like, it will depend on the situation, but you can affect the story in that way. Yes, he was going to get away, and you shot him and dealt 3 damage, but you rolled that triumph, so you may have only done 3 damage, but you affect the story by making his bike break, or knocking him off the bike with your shot. Like, you caught him square in the chest, and he wasn't expecting that, so he fell off the bike, and the bike goes flying off, and he is now on the ground right there, and you can deal with this here and now instead of chasing him down.
Okay, and then despair, I would assume on the opposite end would be something like, oh, I shot the guy and it did 3 damage, but then my gun backfired and fucking fucked my hand up or something like that, and I dropped the gun. Or
I, as the GM, get to pick anything between, yeah, you shot the guy, and then he goes careening into the owner of this particular establishment's hover bike parked outside, and the guy holds you accountable because you should have just let him go and handled this mess on not my business. So like, it could be anything. I could say your gun breaks and you need to spend extra effort fixing it. I could say that the guy crashes into the bar owner's personal ride, and now the bar owner's trying to get you to fucking pay for it. X, Y, Z.
Okay. All right, cool. That makes a lot of sense then. Yeah, that's fine. I get it.
Stephen, tell Leah good night.
Leah, they say good night.
Good night, Leah.
Good night. I just met you, but good night. Just gonna call her Blondie.
That name Blondie is a play on her profession. She is a radiology technician.
I just met you, and this is crazy.
I just got in trouble for saying technician instead of technologist. I'm sorry.
Ooh.
Oh no.
I just met you.
She's getting back on just to publicly shame
I
me.
hope you slumber like a baby.
It took 3 times, but I'm glad that you finally got that.
Sorry, guys. I literally cannot believe he just did that. So, it's a technologist. Sorry, just had to say that.
Is technician different? I'm curious.
Yeah.
I'm curious.
So, yeah, I have to go to college, get a degree, and take boards to do what I do. And a technician works on the scanner, as in like the technical aspect of changing out a part. And they can be trained like regular, for anything that's like entry level.
So like a technician is my intelligence, a technologist is her intelligence.
No.
I have to be public shamed, otherwess I'm not.
Biter, you suck, man. How dare you say that to your wife, that she's a fucking technician? How dare you?
I know.
I just want to point
The
out
worst.
that Corey's about to be playing a technician, so let's get all our get all the technician
Not
bashing out.
offending. No offense at all to technicians. Totally fine. As
Oh,
a
don't worry. No,
Just
you're
saying.
gonna be glad that I'm there because whenever your shit breaks, you're gonna be like, "Fucking Sam, please help me," and I'm gonna be like, "Bitch, I got this. What? I fixed it. It's done. Just go away from me now."
Well, I'm glad that
let's
Leah
check
came
for
back.
your degree before we let you near the ship.
I'm glad that she could come back to make sure that we were technically correct in our nomenclature.
All right.
It's important.
Sorry. All right. I'm leaving now.
I love you.
Have a good
Bye.
night, guys.
But yeah, I'm around for the next half hour, 45 minutes or so if anyone wants to yell at me, ask me things and stuff like that. But other than that, just talk amongst yourself and amongst yourselves and figure out if there's anything story-wise you'll need to hash out. If anyone wants to make slight adjustments to their characters based on what other characters have picked now. I know we kind of built characters individually, so if you see somebody else is like super awesome at mechanics and you're like, oh, I don't need as much mechanics now, I could probably put a couple of points into computers or something. We can totally make all those adjustments now.
2 pilots and 2 mechanics now.
Yeah, but he's a different kind of mechanic.
Yeah,
I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
He's the kind of mechanic that can say his own name.
yeah.
I can't.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna
okay.
ask, what is your name?
What is your quest?
So, I guess it's okay to tell you.
Don't do it.
Should I not?
Yeah, don't do it. No. If we don't know it in character, then don't
I
do
want
it.
you to tell him in character during session 1.
Okay. Well, I don't talk
While-
much,
while
so
doing
Leah
the
might
voice.
come up in character in session 1.
I can wait till session 1 then.
Okay.
Well, I'm excited.
Me too.
I did. I also decided. I told Hunter this. I don't know if you guys have ever played the Knights of the Old Republic series,
Yeah.
but
I did.
yeah. So I decided. I did decide that one of the quirks of my character is he's gonna have the HK series quirk, where before he says anything, he says something like statement or query, or
Nice.
Agitated answer. Like,
You know what you should do is you should get a voice modulator for Discord, so that you sound like a robot.
yeah, I know. Hunter said something about it too. I'm gonna have to. If you guys know of any good ones, send me a link and I'll try to work with them and make them work to where I can use them. Because I would like him to sound.
Just wait till session 1 to try it out. It'll be fine.
No. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. It's horrible.
No testing, no preparation, just roll with it. We're doing it live.
But yeah, I'd like to test one out and see how it works.
Seal told me a
and make
horror
sure-
story of how it didn't work out once, so now I encourage everyone to do it.
And it was
Oh,
great
right,
because I
yeah.
explicitly explained to that individual that I would be both recording and streaming the session, so that like if he needed to do any of that stuff, he needed to test it out beforehand. And he's like,
And then
cool,
he
I got
didn't.
it, right? And he didn't. So we started playing and we got 45 minutes into the session before he was like, by the way, guys, how's the voice modulator working? Like, do you guys like it? And everyone was like, wait, you ended up doing that? You've sounded normal this whole time. So an hour into the game, he starts just fucking with it. And it made his voice like high pitched, but then anytime anyone else talked, they also came through his mic. So everyone that talked heard themselves talking. And you know how when people hear themselves talking, they instantly stop. And then they give it 2 seconds and they start again. So he paralyzed an entire 5-person group by everyone echoing and then his own voice being high pitched, and we just had to be like, guy stop. And it got to the point where I was like, all right, everyone take 5 to go pee and get new water or whatever. We're not continuing until you turn off that voice modulator.
Yeah, I wouldn't do it. I'd have to make sure to work with it. Make sure it works with push to talk for one, because I always use push to talk, and make sure. Oh yeah, because I'm not about to fucking let it go through other. I hate that. I like whenever somebody's mic starts echoing other voices, it immediately pisses me off. So I'm not going to be the person that causes that.
Well, you are aware that Steven and Leah are playing like nearby, right?
Yes, I know, and
Yeah.
that's fine. I mean, that's fine. Like, it's whatever.
Yeah.
And I mean,
I'm
you
still
know,
working on getting us a system where we don't pick up each other's mics. I'm sorry about that.
oh no, I mean, shit
fine.
happens. I mean, if you guys are playing in the same room on 2 separate computers, of course you're gonna pick up on each other's mics. Like, it
Well,
just
we're
makes
literally
sense.
playing 3 feet from each other,
Yeah.
facing each other right now.
Right,
So-
yeah. Yeah, so I mean, yeah, it just makes sense. It's not a big deal. I mean, you know, it's cool, man. You and your wife are playing fucking, you know, tabletop games together. That's awesome.
There
that
might be times where she's in here as well, and in certain weird, odd situations, I could possibly see an entire group of 4 being in my household, because Steven and Leah and Rick totally need to come visit me sometime because I miss them all.
I can do that. I just
oh god,
gotta
you're
find
all
a
in
long
California.
weekend.
I feel so left out. You're all in California.
Yeah, I mean, I'm 5.
Our
and a half,
weekends are
5
Thursdays and
hours away.
Fridays. So
Yeah,
we
my
could try it.
challenge there is like it needs to be a long weekend, because if not, then
Yeah.
I'm gonna spend basically all of Friday just getting there and then hanging out Saturday and then spending all of Sunday coming back.
I'm announcing such because I have leave coming up and there's a 4-day weekend coming up, so you know.
Oh, was it Labor Day?
Sure, whichever
it?
one. You know, the I
Labor
bought a computer,
Memorial.
you need rescued from Vegas weekend.
Oh God, yes, yep, Labor Day. Ooh. The memories.
Which means that on that weekend, my glorious computer will be 7 years old.
Unfortunately, we
Woo.
already know that she will work on Labor Day.
That's terrible.
Dang. Well, I could probably still come down.
It's possible.
We'll see. I mean, I don't think I'm having anything going on there, especially since I'm curious to see how much of my office is gone for Burning Man.
I'll be right back.
All right, he's gone. Everyone get off voice chat. I'll just move him to a different channel.
You
That
just put
works.
them in the other channel.
I was thinking about just kicking everyone out of voice chat and ending the stream and recording right there.
Nice.
But I digress.
Rick, is
What's
there anything I can do to help you, like, tie in your backstory with us?
Right. So I never really actually introduced my guy, really,
Right.
like everyone else did. So I'm Kodo Cruz, which sounds like, I don't know, like a guy who plays Jimmy Buffett cover songs at bars. But
I thought it sounded like a race that the Tauren in Warcraft had.
I thought it sounded kind of like
the
sci-fi Mission Impossible.
The mount that Taurens ride in Warcraft is called a Kodo.
Ah.
Sorry,
Yeah, I don't know.
carry
I'm
on.
not gonna lie. I went to like some random name generators and didn't like what I saw, but then picked one name and another name and put them together. Whatever.
That's
Point
how I do
being,
it.
I'm Kodo Cruz, and the backstory for me is my guy. You know, he was like, you know, a straight laced, like, you know, middle of the road, not a, you know, criminal underworld guy. He was just working for someone that needed a pilot. Except I also like taking ships and flying them fast and doing wacky things in them, and I took one of my employer's ships and I got caught. But they didn't like throw me in jail or anything. They just kind of fired me and blacklisted me from the profession. So now I have to do things like work for the Pike Syndicate because they're the only people who will take me.
You poor
And
sad
I'm
thing.
trying to get my own ship.
You are the worst valet driver in this party.
Yeah.
I do have one question for you.
Yeah.
How often do you have to clean your cheek flaps? Like, is that a daily thing, or
What did you do? You bastards! For a second, I saw the lock on the thing, and I was like, "Shit, they left me out."
I'm not gonna
No,
lie, I
he
told
left.
everyone to leave the channel and they all did. And I was like, I'll just move him to another channel. But I totally thought about just kicking everyone out of the voice chat and hitting end on the recording and everything right there and just letting that be the end of it. Okay, I'm gonna be right back. Wham!
What a dick.
You just missed Rick's
He's kind of mean
character.
that way.
Oh, you're still here, Ashley?
Yeah.
She's been here the whole time. She's just been quiet.
What? I'm not Fun enough to talk to?
Well, I got a cat sitting on my lap now, so he demands attention.
How's the new headset working? Better?
Yeah, I'm like able to hear everything, which is good, and it's not like cutting in and out. They're kind of falling off my head a little, so
You have to wear a hat underneath it.
yeah, I think I might have to.
I'll get her like a pillow.
I'm still curious to know what headset it is.
I'll take a picture of the box after we get off here
Cool.
because I didn't read.
So wait,
It's black
you're
and
recording?
yellow box.
You're recording the session 0, like whenever we've just been fucking around the whole time.
He records everything.
Maybe.
The internet never forgets.
Pumpkin.
I forget how to say it in Chinese. Korean. Ama.
I forget how to say it in Chinese too. It's shoot, man. I'm losing even my throwaway words.
Need a mama?
Woman bonj.
All right, if we're all set for backstories, then I'm gonna take off too.
Yeah, I'm probably gonna
reasonable.
fix a snack because the lady and I are both kind of hungry. But like I said, I'll be around if anyone needs me to answer RPG related questions.
Yeah, and if someone wants to work to tie in their backstory with Leah and I, just ping me. We'll work it out.
Okay. Yeah, that's the only thing I need to figure out is how Sam got onto the ship with you guys.
Do you think you
but
want
again,
to? Do you think you want to have worked for the Pikes, or do you think
be owned by the Pikes?
Yeah, I was gonna say, do you think
Right, yeah. See, those are the things I need to work out. Because again, I just started making this character 2 hours ago. So, it's a matter of figuring out what factions are prevalent within this story and which ones I can avoid. I mean, I know it's okay. So it's during. As far as I read from the story perspective, the Death Star has been destroyed. So this is right around Empire. This whole thing takes place.
The cool thing is that we can pick whenever. However, yeah, I'm going with right about Empire. The first Death Star has been destroyed, giving more credibility to the Alliance, basically. That won't come into play in this first written module, but I don't want to have to do a time warp if you guys decide to. That's very interesting.
What?
Sorry. Thought I was muted.
Is he taking a piss? What's going on?
Nope, just the same.
I don't want to have to do a time warp if you guys
cover story.
Yeah, if you guys wander afterwards, right? I don't want to oh, we're doing Clone Wars stuff. Let's whatever. But so that's in your mindset. The first Death Star is blown up. No one knows about the second one yet. Bam, there you go.
I do have a question. If I put a restraining bolt on Corey's character, does that mean I get to control Corey's character?
I'll check the rules.
I mean, no reason. I would never actually do it. I'm just curious,
You say that. Can I get it in writing?
I mean, I did already buy a restraining bolt.
I swear, if you put a restraining bolt on my character, his whole thing is that he hates once he gains sentience, he hates being treated as a droid and being treated as an object. He sees himself as a mechanical humanoid, not a droid, not a piece of property. So if you put a restraining bolt on
humanoids can be slaves too.
Yeah, right.
It's
but
just treating you like an equal.
But
a subservient equal.
I'm just saying that if you ever put a restraining bolt on him and it ever comes off, he is going to do whatever it takes to kill you. Whatever it takes.
I like that Steven's proving a point here by saying if you want equal treatment, humanoids get treated like shit, so you should be treated like shit too. You are not above being treated like shit. Welcome to humanity.
No.
It's only fair.
It's a good point. But also, he's literally been subservient his whole life and, prime directive.
So what's a little bit longer? No, I'm just messing with you. I would never actually do that. I'm not the kind of person that likes tearing the party apart.
No. Even if you did it though, like honestly, as a player, I love crazy shit like that. Like I would actually laugh my ass off, but like in character, like I'd have to play my character the way that he is, and like in character, he would be seething with rage, but wouldn't be able to do anything about it while the restraining bolt is on. As soon as that shit came off, he would fucking guns blazing try to kill your ass. Like,
so I'll just put the restraining bolt on you and then send you on a suicide mission and problem solved.
Yeah. I mean, but you don't know that about
Next time we're in dire straits, I'm gonna put a restraining bolt on you and tell you to cover the rear.
Nice.
I mean, hey, he has sentience. You know, all you gotta do is ask him. He might just do it anyway.
No, I would not do that. I'm not that much of a jerk. I'm a little bit of a jerk, but I'm not that much of a jerk.
Nah, it's fine, dude. Oh, you're good. Get ricked.
All right, guys. I'm taking off. Feel free to ping me if you need anything.
All right.
Cool.
I have a cat on stream, so I can officially end the stream now because there was a cat in this video.
Yay. Yeah, I think we'll work on my character sheet. I want to make sure I get the backstory and stuff right. Like I'm thinking he might be built by the Empire, but I'm not 100% sure just yet. If he is, I'm gonna have to like try to find a recoloring tool and recolor his picture a little bit.
I have some Photoshop skills, and so does Rick, so we can always adjust that.
Okay, cool.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna... Go ahead.
He is supposed to be like because the picture. The only thing I don't like about it is that it does look like it's a little what do you call it? Like a little dingy. And he is supposed to be like he's a pretty new, like I mean he's not new in the sense like I think he was probably built just like a couple of years ago, but he's new in the sense that like his his like chassis and stuff is actually like pretty well kept and shiny and shit like that.
I don't promise anything great, but I can try some minor stuff in Photoshop, and if nothing else, we can always look for more art.
Yeah, that works too. Yeah, it doesn't. Either way is fine. For now, that picture works. I do want him wearing clothes because it is like that's immediately the first thing I thought of was that like he gained sentience, and he was like humanoids wear clothes. I'm a humanoid. I'm gonna wear clothes.
You know, like the quest in Borderlands.
Yeah. So like so that's kind of like that was like one of my first thoughts whenever I was like I'm gonna be a droid, but he's gonna wear clothes because why the fuck not? Like no droids in Star Wars ever really wear clothes, you know, like as in my experience.
Let's get you a pair of blue jeans.
That would be fucking hilarious.
But no shirt, like just the blue jeans.
Yeah. Just the blue jeans and the jacket and the hat and no shirt. He's just like or he wears like a tank top just because.
So I'm back. I just wanted to point out that Chris called me because she couldn't get her speakers working. And what ended up being the issue was that she had her volume turned down in iTunes.
Nice.
Okay then.
Also, she couldn't find the...
You'll see. Just you wait, Corey. You'll see.
Wait, Chris is Linus, your wife, right?
No,
not at all. You take that the fuck back.
Sorry, I didn't know who Chris was. Oh wait, no, I'm sorry. Yeah, you mentioned Chris earlier, and she was your ex. Okay.
Yes, she was my ex from like 4 years ago, and
I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna go ahead and kill the recording and stuff here while we talk about ex-girlfriends and stuff. Though, I'm gonna get a snack, feed the lady, feed the cats, and then I will be back.
Sounds good.
Y'all bitch about ex-girlfriends.
Oh boy, do I got some stories.